What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Music Hacks Network. For those persons who are joining us for the first time, I am your host, Chris Bailey. In today's show, we have a great bass player. His name is Chaco Edwards. People know him as Choco. Andrew,
Blessed, my brother.
what's going on? What's going on, bro?
Yeah, they are give thanks, you know?
Definitely. Thanks for
Yeah, man.
joining the Music Hacks Network.
Yeah, man. It's a joy to be here, you know?
There's so many great things that I've heard about you as a bass player. It is really a privilege to be interviewing you this afternoon on the Music Hacks Network. And I know you are definitely a Jamaican musician that has a lot to offer. And I know today will be a great show.
True.
All right.
Yeah,
In the
man.
meanwhile, I'm definitely going to welcome all the persons who are joining us on YouTube. And I also welcome the persons who are here with us on Zoom. If you're here for the first time on this network, please allow the Music Hacks Network to be your home because we streamed it on a Thursday and on a Sunday. So make sure you hit that subscribe icon so you can get all the notifications and you will never miss another live stream. All right, but this afternoon it's all about Mr. Edwards, Choco. All right, so Choco, I
Yeah.
am definitely interested in learning about how you got this nickname, Choco. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I got that nickname derived from the word chocolate because I got that from a lady in my hometown name is Nicey. So I grew up I'm from Cedar Valley over here in St. Thomas, a little town near Bethel. So a little youngster growing up, I used to like going to the field, and cook chocolates and eat and stuff like that. So I always do it and I always go over by a house back and anybody the chocolate tree, I always find it and oxy chocolate. So she called me chocolate, one chocolate. you know, Jamaicans just flip the name on them say, yo, Chaco, as an abbreviation, I must run with it. Yeah, man,
Definitely.
definitely.
But that is very interesting because I always thought that it has something to do with your musical background.
No, I got that name long before I even think about music.
Uh, that's cool because as a child, I remember doing those things. I used to follow my grandfather go to the field as well. And I usually do the same
True.
thing. All right, cool. That's very interesting though. But what
Yes,
got you
man.
into music?
Well, he's my brother from another mother. Big up Kush Keys. Joel Collard, better known as Kush Keys, he's the first person really that introduced me to bass. We grew up in the same hometown. Like we are like brothers. So, I always the first time I saw him playing it was the drums. I grew up in church and big up the Bethel AME Church, big them up. Growing up I saw, his dad was basically the musical director for the church, Mr. Milson Collard. So he, he taught his sons, he had another brother named Javan Collard. So I normally see them playing music and I was like, wow, till I just wasn't a bass player per se. So it's basically drums, keyboard, and like rhythm guitar. So that's when he introduced me to the bass, even though at the time I was really shy. I try not to be
You're
shy.
shy,
I
Choco.
was really shy. What?
Oh man, that is
Hey,
unbelievable.
they could never get me. It was sit at the rostrum and look in the audience and play. I was that shy, but as time go by, I get better and better, so, he started, teaching me bass and we grow from strength and strength from there.
Okay. All right. So, what else were you doing at the time apart from playing music? What were you also involved in?
Yeah, at the time I was a lover for cricket. Yeah, man. Anywhere cricket there you find me, So me a spins ball, I like cricket and football at the time. So that's what I was interested in at the time. But music at the better of me.
Did you actually play for your school?
Pardon?
Did you actually play for your high school at cricket? Were you into sports and all that?
No, no, I didn't get the chance to because at the time, I was a part of the school band. I think when I just started learning bass around like third form, uh, he brought me to meet the music teacher, and that's where it started for me. Playing in high school in the band, you know, going various competitions, JCDC, stuff like that.
Okay. What were your biggest awards at JCDC?
Yeah, we win best school band, I think something like that at the time. Win a lot of awards though, because the band, to be honest, the band was that good, at the school.
Okay. Interested in other career paths? If you were not a musician, what else would you be interested in pursuing?
Well, I always like to be a meteorologist. I always when I watching news, I always say, hey, man, do that. See them reading the weather and telling about the weather forecast. If I weren't a musician, maybe that I would go that part, definitely.
Okay, cool. All right, Choco. Now, in taking the bass more seriously, what can you say contributed to the what did you put in place to become the great bass guitarist that you are now?
Well, I would say the love, because it if you don't love a thing, definitely you're not gonna take it serious. So I really love the bass and that my determination for sure. Also, you know, my hunger for it. You want to learn, you want to get better each day. So those are a few of it stuff that really I would say.
All right, what are some of the things that you work on during your practice time? That time in the shed, as we call it as musicians, when we're not seeing Chaco making the mistakes and learning the new stuff. What do you work on?
Well, I do work on a lot of things. First up is discipline. I think that is one of the hardest thing to really incorporate in a playing. The regular. I like techniques and stuff. Um, your scales, arpeggios, your tone, stuff like that. Your approach to different genres and some other stuff. But those are the main things for me, really.
All right. What do you think makes a great bass player? I know you just spoke about the chords and the technique and stuff like that, but I'm sure there is something that is very significant. What do you think makes a great bass player?
Well, for me personally, I think your approach, um, your overall personality as a bass, because as a bassist, as a musician, yes, I look at technique on the instrument as very vital, because with a good technique, that's how you're gonna generate a great sound. And you know, in our field of music, your sound is very important to you as a musician. That's how people can say, hey, that's Chaco, that's the sound Chaco. You understand, say your sound in general, I would say.
All right. How would you describe your sound?
Well, I would say unique, to be honest. And I always got that compliment from other musicians and producers. Say, hey, you have a nice, unique sound. Even though sometimes I was like, what exactly they are hearing? But sometimes you don't know what the next person is hearing. You understand? So I would say me being unique.
Okay, cool. Are there any bass players, famous bass players that you have listened to sort of shape your sound, that sound that we're hearing from Choco now? Are there any bass players that you have actually looked to for influence?
Yeah, man. There's quite a few. Um, Mr. Ian Eilert from C Sharp Band. Yo, that brother, him have a great impact on my career. Mr. Aston Family Bart, Glenn Brownie. You have this guy, I can't remember his correct name, but them call him Fully. He play bass for Soul Syndicate. And yeah, Mr. Trevor Mackenzie from, he played Barry Salmon. And Mr. Upton Ebert. Those are quite a few that has really have an impact on my career so far.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What's your genre? Your genre when you're practicing. What's the genre that you actually listen the most?
I would say ska music. Definitely. I really like ska music and I like rocksteady and those stuff. But
So
mostly
you're
I would say
actually
ska
more
music.
into the Jamaican type of music.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that.
How important is it for us as Jamaican musicians to sort of stick to our culture? Because I know this can be a debatable question because musicians are from a lot of background and they choose a lot of variety of genres to play. All right, but
Uh-huh.
how important is it for us to practice our Jamaican culture?
Well, for me still, I wouldn't want someone from a different country to really be more versatile than me, a genre from my country, if you understand. Because it's really important to know your culture to an extent and to execute it properly. So for me, I spend a lot of time listening music from.
Um, Choco, yes, we lost your video for a while. I'm seeing you now. Choco, turn on your mic.
Yeah, I'm here back. I'm back.
All right, cool. We do apologize for that. We are having some issues with flow. So we're trying to make the most of this interview. All right, for those persons who are viewing on YouTube, we do apologize for that at this time. All right. Yes, Choco.
Yeah.
Yes. So the
Yes, sir.
importance of our Jamaican genre, we're actually discussing that, and you're actually saying that you would never want somebody to see you in the light that you have not mastered your culture. All right, so I'm going to ask you
Definitely.
to continue along that point.
Well, for sure, especially when we on tour, right? And you listen to different bands, like from different countries, yeah, they represent. For example, if you're a band from Brazil, yeah, they playing salsa. I say, whoa, they represent the culture really well. Same thing if I hear a band from the US playing like jazz or funk or stuff like that. So definitely I look into that and I say, wow, I'm going to take the necessary steps to make sure that I represent the music from my country to the full extent. So I do put in the work and hope one day, I will even get better than where I'm at now. Yeah.
Definitely. All right, what's the name of the band that you're working with now?
Well, I'm currently working with Mr. Mikey Spice. He call the band the Cats. So
The Cats.
the Cats, I'm not a fan of the name, but yeah,
uh,
yeah.
did you come up with that name, Chaco?
No, no.
Who came up with that name? The Cats.
Even but he spell it Kats. I'm glad it's not the CAT.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Cool. All right. What genre do you guys actually play predominantly?
Well, he's a versatile artist, so he has a lot of different genres. You have reggae, you have a lot of I call it like R&B, stuff like that. Yeah, jazz because he's a great jazz musician, so we play jazz also. It's about anything. Ballads, love ballads and stuff like that.
Okay.
Scare, yeah.
So you guys do a lot of work in the hotel, right?
Well, no, we do a lot of work like in studio works and performances like live shows and stuff like that.
Okay. Oh, you're personally, you are the one who plays in the hotel.
Well, I used to like a few years ago, but um, as time go by, you choose other stuff. Yeah, for real.
Okay. Cool. All right, Choco. I am going to ask you at this time just to give us a little bit of your work situation. Who are the persons who you actually play for or played for in the past?
Well, touring wise, my first artist I played for tour is Janine. That is back in 2016. I did that maybe a year and a half. Then after Janine, it was Dwayne Stevenson, like Mackie and Chevron. Then after that, I joined the Big Ship band. Then from Big Ship, Mikey Spice, but also did some work back then also with Mr. Ken Booth. So those are the artists so far. Those are other artists too, but those are just random gigs.
Where are some of the places that you have gone outside of Jamaica?
Wow. Well, for Europe, Italy, Spain, Barcelona. Same thing in Spain. I'm sorry. Switzerland, Poland, Sweden. It's a whole lot. You know, Norway, those European countries. Austria. Then you go, Africa. Kenya, Ghana, Zimbabwe, England. It was all over, man.
A lot of places.
Yeah, all over
All
places.
right. Do you tour the United States as well?
Yeah, in fact, I think 52 states them have probably Alaska I never been to. You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But I know this touring is the high point of every musician's career. It's a joy to take an aeroplane to go to somewhere to play,
Yeah.
right? Even myself dream of that one of these days, but I never took that path, right?
Right.
So speaking to you guys, I would like to know, actually goes to your mind when you know that a tour is next week. How do you prepare for it? What's the feeling like?
Well, for me, firstly, I think about my health, you know, more than everything else. I try to stay fit, try to stay healthy, you know. Then that's the whole preparation, getting your food intact because hey, touring is not just for me, it's not just taking an airplane, but you come on to food because standing up on that stage for hours, traveling, you need to make sure that you're on top with your diet and stuff like that. Then yeah, that's the main part for me personally. And make sure I get through immigration with no difficulty at all. That's the next part. Yes.
All right, cool, cool. I am definitely gonna save some of the questions for for the viewers and subscribers and those persons who are on Zoom. Choco, but
Yeah.
do you have a presentation for us this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm just gonna show you as the topic stated some technique that I use to execute on bass playing. So hope it help you know. Yeah.
All right, definitely. All right, this time, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and subscribers on YouTube, at this time I present to you Mr. Chaco, as we know him. All right, Chaco, I'm gonna ask you to, I'm gonna put up the other camera.
Yeah.
So just put back the other right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Chaco, take it away.
Yes, so greetings again, Massive. It's a joy being here, as I said earlier. So, yeah, seeing my page. Yeah. So, as I said, I'm going to show you guys some technique that I've used on my musical journey. So, first up, I'm going to show you a finger perfect rule that I use in executing lines. So, first up, just make sure you're hearing the bass. So that's why I know you're hearing me clearly.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to start with a little chromatic exercise, and also I'm going to show you how I use my fingers to generate different sounds. So first up, we're going to do chromatic, finger perfect, starting on the first string. So what I'm doing here, trying to use the tip of my fingers slightly arch to generate a clean sound. So whatever you do want to do is to use the flat point. So as I said, we're gonna label these 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna do a string skip with the first finger. So the rest of the 3 gonna remain on the first string. Then the same thing continue across. So basically, it's straightforward. I'll go again. When ascending, with everything still remaining on the first and the 5th string. So if you're playing a 4th string, you can stop at the A flat at the 4th fret. So we're gonna ascend back. So you're gonna go 2, 3, 4, with remaining of the 3 fingers still on the E string. So you're gonna play the first finger on the 3rd string.
Choco,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you, but it seems like the internet is weak, so I'm gonna ask you to speak first, and then you play. Don't do
Okay.
both at the same time, all right?
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. So what I was explaining there, because of the internet connection, you have to do this way, right? So we're gonna use a chromatic exercise starting on the 1st fret of the 1st string, right? So we're starting on an A flat. So what I want to explain to you that I play 1, 2, 3, 4 with my fingers and playing with my tip of my fingers, right? Then I'm gonna do cross. I'm actually descending, so our next note gonna be the E flat and the 1st fret of the 2nd string, right? So we're gonna keep the remaining fingers down on the 1st string. So each time we play a note, the finger remain here on the 1st string. So you're gonna go straight across, keep your fingers down. When ascending, the same principle apply, you start with your 1st finger, you keep the 3 remaining on the 5th fret, the 5th string, sorry, down. So I'm gonna play it, and you can play along if you have a bass with you. Yeah, the advantage of having this technique down, it helps you to play like fast lines. Like if you're playing bebop music, you don't want to have what they call a flying finger, right? Where you have your fingers too high and stuff like that. It can be difficult, especially as I said, when you're executing lines. So I'm gonna play a little exercise and demonstrating what I'm talking about. Yeah, so there, what I did, I tried to keep my fingers as close as possible to the string. What I don't want to do is having your fingers like this, right? You don't want it to do like that. You want it everything a straight line. And what I did here with my thumb, I tried to have an anchor, if you're seeing. So I move it across where you see this line is. So for not every bass of this the straight line that go across the fretboard is not only there on the bass for decoration. It actually, you can follow the line to to guide your thumb across the fretboard. So as I said, keep your fingers close as possible to the strings. Alright, so that is one technique that I use, and you can use it to play various lines, like if you're warming up, you know. So what I was doing there, actually playing like a major 7 arpeggio, starting from the 12th fret, which is on the third string, so I have an A major 7. I go chromatic, B flat to C, to B, sorry, to B to C. So I play 1, 5, 9, then a major 7 with the same technique. So what I don't want to do when I'm playing, the technique is to have your fingers like this. Yeah, you kind of sound sloppy that way. So your fingers are to the front. You know, it sound, the line will sound. So, if you have any question, you can ask a question when the Q&A session start. There's other technique I want to show you guys and what to do from what not to do. I'm not sure if I see my thumb here. It's a thumb technique that we use.
You want to fix what the next camera? What's happening to the next camera? Yeah.
You see me? All right.
Right.
Yeah. So for this one, as I said, I want to show you the palm muting technique. There are a couple of them out there that I really use. This is one of them. So what you want to take like this part of your hand here and put it across just in front of the bridge. Then you try to have a straight line with your hand. Then you want to set your thumb at an angle in which you are comfortable, because a lot of persons do their one different. You understand? So one straight line with a hand, put it down to where you know, feel where you are comfortable in terms of your hand and stuff like that. You want to play the note. You don't want to press into the string to over mute the string, because when you mute your bass, what you did, you minimize the vibration of the string. So you don't want to apply a lot of pressure. Then the note going to sound muffled. Right? You want it to sound clean and precise. So this technique is used a lot in, you know, like if you're playing certain types of reggae and like scam music, as R&B, it's using gospel. You can use it in particularly any genre of music you wish. And I'm gonna play a few lines using the technique so you can see how it falls into place. Yeah, as is one of them. The next thing I want to say, as I said earlier about pressing, not pressing down, applying too much pressure on the string. If you do that, this is all gonna sound like. See, so you don't want that sound. It sounds like you're actually stifling the bass, you know. You want your notes to come out clean and accurate. So having this technique down, yeah, a common mistake that I sometimes, I see a musician do is when you're playing a genre music. For example, you're playing, say, a funk tune, right? And what they normally do is like they have this finger picking up, like I want to approve that. I want to do that. What I will do is try to move my thumb across. That way, you have a more consistent sound. Because when you try to, it's like if it, in a recording session, it's like you're gonna have these notes punching at a different level from these that are coming. It's notes. So you want to establish a consistency in terms of your punch. Because your punch is really important, especially if you're recording a song in the studio. You can punch some notes loud and some soft because you're gonna give the engineer a lot of problem, especially when he's mixing and stuff like that. And another technique that I use is my left hand muting when playing a line. What I normally do is whenever I play a note, depending on the line that I'm playing, I use my first finger to mute the strings that I'm not using. So if I'm playing on the inner strings, like the fourth string, third string, second string, what I normally do, I use my first finger to mute
Um,
strings that I'm not using.
yes. Put up the video that is Choco. Can you show the fretboard?
Oh yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So as I was saying, it's the inner strings that I'm playing. I try to use my first finger to mute the strings that I'm not using. So if I'm playing a line like this, so what I'm doing there when I'm going across the strings, try not to apply a lot of pressure. Even though I'm muting, I just barely glide my fingers across to avoid like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, if you ever hear like when some people play some strings like ringing in the background. You know, you play a note, then you hear a string ringing behind the note, or you hear an overtone. So by muting the left hand, it can eliminate like overtones from the strings and stuff like that. Yeah, so another one that I use a lot, you know, I use it in almost every recording that I do, and I use it when playing live. It's a technique that was taught to me by my mentor, Ian Eilert. So it's another thumb technique, but in this case, you're not going to mute the bass, right? So you may wondering if this is another mute technique. No. What it does, try to relax his arm, then you establish an angle between the bridge and the 24 fret here. That's why I do my own. So yeah, so this technique, it is not really an easy one, to be honest with you. It takes a lot of practice because it is like the opposite of playing alternative fingering, like, you know, index, middle, index. They are different in terms of toning, in terms of sound, because, you know, you get more punch whenever you play with your thumb than if you play fingerstyle, right? So it's a choice, and that's why I use this technique a lot in terms of playing in studios to get that really nice sound that I like, you know. So a recap of it: put your hand from the bridge across, then I have a rest it my finger here. I'm not sure if you're seeing right at the 24 fret. Your bass don't have
Oh,
24 fret.
drop back down the guitar like you just had it a while ago.
So what I did
Nice.
now, establish a straight angle, and I use kind of anchor. Use this as an anchor. Then my thumb is right here, very straight, so it helps me to punch. So if I really listen keenly, none of the notes are not muted. They're still legato notes, and you can use this technique to practice um, like octaves. This is one of the most challenging part of it. I use it to practice So next one and the final one for now is we call it there. It's like an artificial. It's actually an artificial harmonic type of approach. So what it is exactly is actually what I'm doing here. I'm using my thumb to mute the string. Then I use my index and pick right behind. So again, you can choose any random note. In this case, I'm choosing a D. So in your selection, you can choose where you want to pick. You know, the further you go back to the bridge, is the higher the pitch goes. Away from the bridge is the opposite, the lower. So you can play some, some nice cool lines with it, Yeah, so those are some. It's gonna take some practice. I'm still working on it, but if any further questions, you can ask in the Q&A, and I will go back and show you what is done. Yeah.
All right. That's it, Chaco.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Bless up, bless up, bless up. All right, guys. There you have Chaco's presentation. We do apologize for the situation with the internet flow. I don't know. We're praying that Jamaica will get better internet at some point. We just have to do better, but we have done our best. And Chaco, that was an excellent presentation, bro. Excellent.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man.
Yes, man. Thanks for being on the show. Now, at this time, we are going to invite our friends on YouTube. You have a lot of supporters on YouTube over there. I don't know if you can see them on a different device, but they're there supporting you. I'm going to ask them to type their questions in the chat at this time. Also, the persons who are on Zoom, I'm going to ask you to put your hand up and then ask your questions. All right? Any questions from Zoom? Yes, we have a question from Justin Smith on Zoom.
Blessings. Chaco, the things that they run through
Yeah.
arpeggio thing where you play. You said 1 5 9, then major 7.
Yeah.
You could show me the fingers that you use with the left hand to play it.
Yes, man.
Please.
So what the fingering, I use my first, second finger on the fifth, on the ninth, fourth finger, then I go back to the major seven, my first finger. So it's actually a major 9 chord. So it's first, second, fourth, and first. And you can also use this technique. This is a major 7. You can change it to minor. I can use this a lot, especially major 9 chord, right?
You can repeat that, please? You kind of tripled a while ago.
So if I'm playing over A major 9 chord, any major 9,
We're
what I
not
like to
hearing you,
do,
Choco.
you hear me now?
Yeah, don't play and speak because
Okay.
the internet is, yeah.
Alright, so over any major 9 chords, what I like to do, I like to play like 1, 5, 9, major 7, sharp 11, 9, up to the third. So I'm gonna play it slowly for you, right? Then piano. I'll play a major, this is major, I call it major 9 sharp 11. I go to the fourth of that, no, at chord scale. So for example, in A major, I play this arpeggio that I just showed you. I go to the fourth, which is gonna be the same chord type as B major 9 sharp 11. So you're gonna sound like this. You can keep on going up in fourths. Everything A, D, A, D, G. You can play the same chord types over those. From G to C and C to F. You can just keep going. So slowly again. 1. Yeah.
Question: the arpeggios you said that for that one there was 159 major 7 sharp 11.
Yeah. Then after the sharp 11, you have an option. You can play the third resolve because so it's 1. I can't talk about it. 159 major 7 sharp 11. You have an option. You can go back to the 9, or you can resolve back to the third or the 10th. Yeah, then whenever you reach a sharp 11 for the A major chord, you go up a fourth and descend. So you're gonna end up on the D. The same thing, go up a fourth, descend, end up on G. Keep on going, man. Yeah.
You said when you reach a sharp 11?
Mhm.
Alright. We can go into fourth and go. Alright, let's just try write down them because, yeah, man. Some
Come
really
on.
practice.
All right. Any other questions, guys? Guys on Zoom, Guys on YouTube. All right, Choco, how do you approach constructing like a reggae groove, a reggae bass line? What's your approach to that?
I have several approach. First, I want to know like the topic of the song. For example, say for you're in a recording session then, and the topic of a song is cool and deadly, right? So I want to structure a few things. I want to know a theme. As I said, cool and deadly. Then definitely, I will listen to the drummer, what the drum groove is like. If it is swinging, if it's playing straight. Listen to the other instrument players, and just try to build what you call it, try to build a vibe with whatever you're playing because how I approach music, I try to approach it with an open mind. So I'm not going to build a groove. For example, if you're playing over, say, A minor to G major, I don't want to construct my bass line thinking, hey, A minor, G major, A minor, G major. So we start with whatever is laid out there by, it can be the piano player or the drummer, can be the guitar player, anything that is there. I will just take my time and just try to create something around it, you know? Yeah.
All right. Are your bass lines more of a melodic nature, or what nature does your bass line take?
I like the melodic nature, some can be harmonic also, but I like melodic bass lines. I like lines like those, and I like melody.
Why is that though? What's the reason behind that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you the reason behind it because before I learned about like theory and those stuff, a majority of the time I was like playing bass and just playing the notes, but I don't know like the chords on top of the notes. So it's like if I hear a B note in a song, for example, it is a B diminished, right? You're just playing a B and you don't know, hey, this is a B diminished. So probably you're gonna play a sharp five on top of that in which they're gonna crucify you. So I like bass line with melodies. So at least we can know say, hey, it's a play over a major chord, it's a play over a minor chord. It helps with your ear training as well, other than just vamping a bass note and you don't know what is stuck on top of that note. Yeah.
Cool. A question from YouTube from Tyreek Foster.
Yeah.
How do you work on your tone?
Oh yeah. The tone, all right. There are certain approach I can use in working on a tone, depending on what tone you like. First up, try to, if I get the chance to understand the frequencies, I would say to dive into that, try to understand what a 40 hertz sound like, you know, try to understand a 5K different from a 8K, those stuff. Because everything that you play, every note, there's a frequency from it. So understand that and also try working on, as I said earlier, different type of techniques because the techniques is what you want to generate the sound that you want, right? Next thing now, try to understand different strings that, there's a lot of strings out there with different sound. Try to find one that fit your type of playing because toning is not just your preamp and your bass and your amplifier. The strings, the choice of strings um, have a lot to do with the toning of your bass. Try to understand your instrument, your choice of instrument. Some people like MTD, some like Fender, So working on a tone, your gear is gonna be very important. You understand? From there, you try to establish a balance between your instrument and your gears, and also, as I said earlier, your technique, also your punch. Those stuff gonna generate your tone, because if you have an aggressive punch, you know, if I punch a note, for example, and I want a clean tone, is not how hard a punching note gonna generate the sound, because the harder you punching out is the longer the string gonna take to settle into that note, right? So those stuff are key in finding your right tone.
Okay, cool. Can you? I'm still waiting on the guys on Zoom and YouTube to send in their own questions. All right. I
Mhm.
want you to address Chaco,
Yeah,
the technique of staccato playing as to legato as a bass player.
yeah, man. For me personally, um, I think these are exercises that I use to whenever I face with for example, a bass line with both long and short notes. So I use my breathing to help me to like the long notes, because your note values is critical in terms of playing. So what you can do, you can grab a metronome, and for example, you can play just use two notes. So for example, I'm playing an E here on my 7th fret and the octave. Try to play like long, short, long, short. Stuff like that. You can use different methods. Same chromatic, you can play long, short, long, short.
All right. Let's take another question. Justin from Zoom.
Um, One of the techniques, the last technique where you do, I never really catch it.
Yeah.
Speak up, Justin.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that the last technique that you did, the one where it's like a false harmonica or something like that. I never really
Oh,
so good. So I was going to ask if you could go in a little more depth with it.
all right. Yeah, man. So what I'm going to show you now, the most important part of the technique is trying to get the string to rest just above, right here at your finger, where your finger been, right? So I place my finger, as you've seen it on the other camera.
Yeah, man, I see.
Yeah, then you're gonna pluck behind this finger that you mute. So you don't have to fret a note yet. You can just, you're gonna generate a false harmonic. So this is a natural harmonic, right? So the false harmonic now so let's say mute. If the string gonna just make the string rest across, just below your fingernail, right? Then you're gonna pluck behind the finger. When you generate the false harmonic, you can, you know, use it to play like lines. But you can start with one string first. There's no rush, right? Then up, next thing too, you cardinal points and a bass. Wherever you pluck, the sound gonna change. So depending on the sound that I like, I'm gonna show you the different sounds that I can get, right? So playing closer to the neck, different sound from if I go closer to the bridge. So you can play some nice little lines with it, like so that is what it is after. But gonna take some practice because as another bass player use different methods of playing it. I stuck to this technique because it is more easier for me. You can even try to play bass lines with it. Like yeah. But just go and take your time with it, man. It will come, yeah?
Yeah, man. Respect for that,
Yeah,
that
man.
absolutely true.
Respect.
Mm.
Mad. Chaco, the bad. Promised land. Baseline.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's take another question from YouTube. Tyreek Foster again. When playing internationally, what
Mhm.
are some of the things you do before and after a show?
All right. Before the show, bro, I want I always have a talk with the engineer, you know. Yeah, I like to interact with my engineer, let him understand what I like and what I don't like. Because I'm very picky when it comes on to frequencies. You understand? Before I show, you go sound check, you know, stuff like that. But I like to actually, when I come from sound check, I like to relax, not think. I don't want to think about the show. Just relax your mind, you know, just cool out. You understand? And just have an open mind. Don't overthink. Like, hey, I'll share the show. Don't overthink now. Just try to relax. That is what I do. Then when I hit the stage now, you want to stay focused because I want to share this video. And the worst thing I could ever do as a musician is play a wrong note in the introduction of a show, you know, that can show you off right through. You understand? So just try to relax. I know sometimes nerves will kick in, but try to find ways and means to control that. And after show, what you want to do is also you can reason what I do. I reason with my band members and say, hey, how was it and stuff like that. And you go back to like your dressing room now. You can talk through the show with a team. Because sometimes you're looking to get like advice from other person, but you can't even check your band members. Say, what did I do wrong? Or it's someone. I always do stuff like that. Interact, as I say, the engineer, ask him. Because sometimes you're on stage and your bass sound really nice to you. But outside, out of the front of house and stuff like that, you say, so you could have, give me more tone, less sub and stuff like that. So you want to have a good relationship with the engineer and stuff like that. So those are some of the stuff that I do. You know.
This is a question from Kushkis. While you're on
Yeah.
tour, tell us your preference in amp and why.
Yo, I I really like the Ampeg, they call it the one with the fuse. I like the Ampeg SVT3. And my main preference is, you know, because they are tube amp. When those tube amp warm up, bro, I can't tell you straight. So the sound, it have a versatile sound that can use to play any genre of music, and it actually easy to maneuver with, in terms of selecting your EQ setting and stuff like that. I like it because it has some of them have like probably 2, 4, 6, 10-inch speaker, so the sound travel more faster than if you have a sub. I understand. So I don't like the amps like with 4 10-inch and one sub, because sometimes I don't really like that sound. I like the one from the Ampeg. The sound, travel more precisely, more quicker to me personally. So and it is a amp that, as I said, it adjusts to any venue. So if you're in a club, it adjusts to the venue more faster, because it have that warm tube amp sound. It have like a passive type of sound towards it. So that's why I chose that amp more than I even use others. Right. Yeah.
So this would basically be on your rider
Yes, man. Hey,
before. Tell us what
if
your
this
rider
amp is not
would basically look like.
my ride up personally, my first preference, as I said, is gonna be an Ampeg. If I can't get an Ampeg, I will ask for like a SWR 900 cabinet. I'll try to if I don't get a SWR, sometime I may use a GK depending on the venue. Understand? Apart from my amplifier, I like to use it's DI box. It's Rupert Neve. I like that DI box, and you guys can check it out. It's a really nice DI box. I like to also use the Avalon A5 EQ. It's a preamp. It actually can change the sound on your bass. You know, I don't use pedals and those stuff. I also use on tour sometime the Boss EQ. I think it is GE7, something like that. I mainly use it like in club shows, depending on small venues. I use it to just draw out some frequencies and stuff like that. So those are basically.
And you normally get these things?
Sometimes, sometimes. But to be honest, if I don't get any of those on my radar, I just use whatever is there. I'm not picky when it comes on to amplifiers. I just use anything is there, because I'm not really relying on the amplifier to generate my sound, really. Yeah.
All right. Let's take a question from Brando. How do you determine your timing when playing reggae? How do you lock in with
Wow.
the drummer, whether on the beat or after the beat?
Um, I want to share something really important with you, Brandon. As a basis, when I think what I do, if I want to know if I locked in, I try to stand still. I'm playing a line. It can be any line. I try not to bob my head. I try not to shake left nor right. Don't tap your feet or stand still and try to listen. You understand? So in doing that, and I learned that from a bass named Ruba. He's an elder. that I grew up seeing playing, great basses, if you stand still, don't bother, don't shake your foot, just stand still and play the line like if you're dancing because, the moment I start to move, the bass line to me get more easier because you know where the accents are, you know where the syncopated notes going to fall. So, and just listen to yourself. That is the most important thing. If you're playing and you're not listening to yourself, trust me, you're heading for the bush. Just listen to yourself, man. Yeah. And one more thing,
Alright.
what I use definitely before answer our next question is my breathing. Yeah, because I don't really like to play and tap my foot too much. Sometimes it kind of distract you. So I focus on my breathing. It helps me with my note values and stuff like that. So those are some of the stuff that I can do. You know. Yeah.
Cool, cool. All right.
Respect.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Brando was here. Bless up, Brando, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And Kush, the guys were on Zoom. I want to hear your voices. Don't pretend like you're on YouTube, man. Kush. Oh, well, Kush lost his audio. Brando, let me hear your voice. And speak to
Yeah, man.
Chaco.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
All
man.
right,
Big
guys.
up, Chaco.
Yeah, man. That's the
Yeah,
purpose of the
man, my
Zoom, you know.
general, up, man.
All right. That's the purpose of the Zoom. Those who are on YouTube, text Zoom. We want you guys to have a conversation. All right. Not together, but one after the other, so we don't cause any confusion. Right. But if you're on Zoom, open your mic and then speak. All right. Bless up, guys. All right. Livy Basie said respect Chaco is on YouTube. Bless up all the guys who are on YouTube. All right.
Yeah, man.
Tell me about your choice of bass now, Chaco. I realize you have a bass that is not really used in Jamaica. I know of that brand, but not a lot of persons actually use it.
Yeah, definitely. This bass actually have a history behind it because um, this is a pre-Gibson and Tobias bass. It's made by, I think it was the first three bass that Mike Tobias ever made, and it's a honor to even have one of these stuff. Um, about this bass from Mr. Mikey Fletcher. I tell you, say, I owned him for this bass like for years. The first I saw him use this bass was a lunch hour at Edna Manley, and I was like, yo, kind of bass that, and him start giving me the history about how he came across this bass. You understand? It have a serial number 513, and when I do my background check and contact Mike Tobias myself, and he told me that this was the third bass that he actually made in his career. And Mr. Fletcher actually had it, and I was like, sir, do send me the bass number. And I was like, oh, Chaka, this is my baby, man. So I just keep pressuring him, and you know, I tell you, he's a good youth. I was on tour. My bass got damaged. I think my Albanese got damaged. My pickup went, and I think I was leaving. When I get back to Jamaica, I was like leaving a couple of days after. So, I'm kind of stressed out because I say, yo, I'm going to get a bass now. So I actually link Mr. Fletcher, and Mr. Fletcher say, all right, I'm going to sell you this bass. But, the price that he actually give me this bass for is basically, when I say again, give me this. I wouldn't even sell this bass at that price. So I have to big up Mr. Michael Fletcher for this general here. Yeah, man, it's really nice. And these stop make this bass, you're not gonna find these bass making again because Mike start make like the MTDs now. So these are before the MTDs. I think Andrew Boucher, he had one of these also. The guy from Catalyst had played bass.
Paul. Choco? Choco, are you still there? All right, guys, on YouTube, seems we have lost Andrew, but I'm sure you had a great time joining us on the Music Hacks Network. I would definitely like you to join us another Sunday afternoon where we will have another great musician on this platform. All right? I will definitely see you on Thursday. Now, Thursday, I'm going to ask everybody to join in. We have one of Jamaica's top keyboardists will be making an appearance on the Music Hacks Network this Thursday night. You can't miss it. Stay tuned. Viewers and subscribers, thank you for watching this video. Before you go, hit that subscribe icon, like the video, share the video, comment on the video.